tonight, inland valleys and also the deserts. I wanted to explain a little bit about my getting a little bit sideways with SDG&E last night. The whole thing came about is I was sitting in the newsroom, I was doing the weather, and I was listening to some of the anchors and the producers talk about the power outages and what was happening and how many people were without power. And so I went on the National Weather Service website, like you can do as well, and looked at all the observations. And then I looked at the power outages. And then I looked at the observations. And then I looked at the power outages. My intention last night was not to go after SDG&E. I just wanted to see what the winds and what the temperatures were in relation to where the power outages were. And then I got a little bit frustrated because these conditions did not warrant these conditions. I called a buddy of mine who's a meteorologist out in Colorado. He works for NOAA, and I said, and I knew I was right. I just needed a second opinion. And I said, take a look at this. Am I right on this? And he looked at it and he said, you're exactly right. No reason for that. Now, there's a lot of factors that go into whether a power pole is going to come down. You have trees near power lines. You got structural damage. You have ground saturation. You have debris near debris from the winds. You have the tilt of the power pole. You have the gravitational force versus the wind force, and the type of wood that those particular utility poles use. Here's the mathematical equation. Total force due to gravitational and wind forces can be expressed as that. And if you figure that out, you're a lot smarter than I am. But the end conclusion, that's simply to say, it takes some work to figure this out. But to bring down a utility pole, you need a sustained wind of 40 miles per hour or more for over an hour or longer. But you also need saturated ground, extremely saturated ground. And we didn't have anywhere close to that. And those numbers I just showed you weren't anywhere near 40. We weren't even having wind gusts at 40 miles per hour. And the future winds were not going to be 40 miles an hour. So it frustrated me because SDG&E's criteria for cutting off power is so obscure. I mean, it's all over the map. There's no distinct criteria for why they cut off the power. And I have no idea what their meteorologists are looking for, because they definitely weren't looking for the weather. But I have no idea what exactly their criteria is or what their meteorologists are looking for. And if they have nothing to hide, open the war room during Santa Ana events so you can show us what you're looking for. But the conclusion of it is SDG&E is not being honest. If they truly have nothing to hide and are working for the customer, then be upfront. Show us what determines outages, because in my opinion, and I'm right on this, it has very little to do with weather. All right? There you go. All right, so here